Now look at the midfield. It was the first time Super Eagles was playing this in the tournament, where we have Samuel Chukwueze right here. We have Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Raphael Onyedika, and your beloved, your guy, love him so much, Moses Simon, the captain of the side. Chukwueze actually dropped into the midfield more, and he was interchanging with Fisayo Dele Bashiru and Raphael Onyedika.
Yeah, welcome back to EVO Sports. The third place match of this AFCON was played between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Pharaohs of Egypt. The Nigerian team carried the day after extra time, and they went into penalties, which Nigeria won by 4-2. We are going to analyze what transpired between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the Pharaohs of Egypt. Then I have Mr. Abbott on my right and Chima on my left. But I'm starting with Mr. Abbott. Abbott, the Super Eagles of Nigeria locked horns with the Pharaohs of Egypt. Nigeria came out the eventual winners in penalty shootout, which Nigeria won by 4-2. What transpired in that game, in your own opinion?
Hey, let me just give Super Eagles a
thumbs up,
a clap for that, because there was a ringing in the team. About 6 players were omitted from the first team list, even though you understand, it's this guy was not there, Onyendidi was not there, Lukman was not there, Basi wasn't there, Osimhen was not in the game there, Iwobi was not in the game there. About 6 of them were not there, but the guys performed. I must give them thumbs up. They performed incredibly well. That is so because I believe that when you win, you gain, but when you lose, you learn. I think the mode of Super Eagles team has the capacity to learn and to grow. That is why I'm always a strong activist or advocate of the federation keeping a coach. If you trust a coach, give him a 4-5 years long-term contract so that I can mold the team. Now, there are so many stories we're hearing from different quarters that Tunisia want the services of Eric Chell. And if Eric Chell eventually leaves, he will break the Super Eagles again. Why? Because if a new coach comes,
coming back
with new philosophy, you have a set of players, you start inviting, his team will start trying to grapple for another kind of rhythm again and all of that. But the game was a nice one in my own perspective, because the Egypt, they are at least the highest order of a Nations Cup AFCON in Nigeria, in Africa. Having been won it in 57, 59, 86, 1998, 26, 28, and 210.
Altogether 7 times.
And Nigeria has been played in the Nations Cup, third place about
8 times.
We have won it 9 times now. But we played semi-final for about 16 times. 16 times. So we've tried, even though the both teams are going home with $2.5 million each.
Is it the both teams or only Nigeria?
The both team, the fourth place.
Fourth place. I don't think fourth place is going
2.5 million.
Then how much is the top place going to have?
The two teams that are playing the third place, they are going with $2.5 million. I know things change. The football evolve as the day goes by.
If it was like that, there was no reason for playing that.
No, there's a reason. The medal is different, because the medal as well is a laurel. You understand? Bronze medal is not easy, because sometimes if you go to some nations like that bronze medal, maybe the government or private individuals or company will just give them have this for your performance and all of that. And it's still easy for 24 teams jostling for the gold for AFCON, and Nigeria is coming third. It's not easy. It's not easy. They actually tried, and the game they performed. I see a lot of people trying to fix a little bit of blame on Onyedika, in which I have actually debunked. As a midfielder, no matter how intelligent you are as a midfielder, you must always make 1 or 2 40 passes once in a while in a given game. But he actually give a calm in that midfield. Nigeria went into that game with a 4-4-2 formation. Akko still starting that match, pairing with Paul on Nwachu. Understand? Osai Samuel and Onyemechisi maintaining their right fullback and left fullback. Igor Ogbu nice coverage for Semi Ajayi. The entire
For
team
Bassi.
really coverage for Semi Ajayi is a coverage.
Okay.
Yes, now
Okay.
Bassi was not in the team.
Bassi was
He
not
was
in the
giving a
team.
good coverage as well for Semi Ajayi. Moses Simon, the captain, was there. Moses Simon, your man. You know, you love Moses Simon so much and all of that. So they played it. Though he ended, the game ended 0-0, though one on penalty. You know that in the third place match, there is no the rule, so to speak, new rule. There is no extra time. So at the end of the year, Nigeria won the match 4-2. There is no much on that match. The fact is that what I just noticed that the way the Nigerian Super Eagles played on that match was quite different from the way they played against the Moroccan side. On this game, they came in very calm, possessing the ball, playing, you understand, giving their very best, trying to express themselves. Because one thing about football, if you can express yourself with the ball, you bring the best out of yourself. But when you are under some sort of pressure, you look as if you are playing against yourself and all of that. But one thing that is noteworthy of again in that game, you know, it's always good that even though you win a game, you must always check the negative, the narratives that are there that you need to really work on. There was so many breaks that Nigeria did from our midfield, but we couldn't create chances for striker to score. There were so many breaks, up to like 7-8 of the breaks in the midfield will come to the periphery of the 18, but there was no way our midfielders could give a goal passes. So they need to improve on that. Subject to more improvements as we advance into several other tournaments as we move ahead. I wish Super Eagles saw the best. They have tried their best. Thumbs up. We expect them to win the gold come next Nations Cup.
And Chima, your own perspective in regards to the game between Egypt and the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the top place game.
Now, firstly, I heard Nwabali is a chieftaincy titled man in the village in Rivers State. So I feel like after the Nations Cup, they should collect the crown from the king and give to Nwabali in his village. So
why?
Because he deserves to be the king now in his village. So at least for pulling up 4 straight matches without conceding a goal in the AFCON from the knockout stage, you know, the round 16 to the quarterfinals, then to the semi-finals and to the third place without conceding a goal. So he has really done well. And then saving penalties, he saved 2 penalties from one of our African greatest players, Mohamed Salah and Mamouche. Both are world-class players. So saving their penalties really gave Nigeria the chance. And then when you come to matches like this, big players turn up in big occasions. The way Alexi Iwobi Lookman, they came out to play that penalty shootout was what I was expecting in the semi-final against Morocco, because when you come out, when you are playing matches, there are always bigger players in every team, and those bigger players should not leave the pressure on the younger players. If you come out as a bigger player, if you lose penalty, if anything happens, I don't think anybody will blame you. I don't think anybody will blame Osimhen or blame Lookman for missing penalty or blame Iwobi for missing penalty, because anybody can miss the penalty and one person must play. But when the people that are maybe less experienced in the team take those kind of responsibility, if they miss it, the weight of the abuses and the weight of the damage will be more on those players. So, but firstly, congratulations to them. One thing that Super Eagles, that I have taken out from this tournament so far, is that Super Eagles, in as much as you have done well, yes, there are still a little bit of lapses from Richel's side. You know, he's a very good coach, know that, and I hope they leave him, because the good work he has done is more than the negative side of it. But I feel like if they leave Richel, he should be, you know, they should play all the tapes of the matches for him every day by day. They should sit down and watch so that he can also know his mistake. Because after games, if you watch the match, as you are watching the match now, if you are watching it from outside with lesser pressure, you'll be able to know what you should have done in those games, so that going forward, when Nigeria will be playing in the future and other games, he will also know and learn from his mistakes and know those who have performed so well. So now, starting the game, Calvin Bassey did not play. If in a very long time, I see Super Eagles squad playing a team like Egypt, very good. And then Egypt tried to play almost all their stars. But Super Eagles trying to reshuffle, trying to play trying to remove, like they bench some of the first team players. You know, people like Wilfred Ndidi, despite coming back from injury, was left on the bench. Osimhen did not start. Lookman did not start. Iwobi did not start in that game. Calvin Bassey suspended for the game. So I feel like Super Eagles really did well, because playing with so different kind of players and still turning up well, still playing so well. It's been a long time Super Eagles have had this kind of squad and the coaching crew, that a team that you can easily change a player in that team and then the player will go in and play. From the defense line, Calvin Bassey did not play. Igor Obun replaced him in that position with Ajayi. That Igor Obun, he might not have power like Calvin Bassey, but definitely if you watch that guy closely, you will see the experience that guy puts in the play. You will see that this guy is very, very good. In fact, he's a very good cover for Calvin Bassey because he was so calm playing his second game in the AFCON. The first one was against Uganda. Then playing this one now against Egypt, the way he was leading the game is, in fact, the guy was tactically good and technically good in the defense line. He covers so well. He does not keep any offside because he knows his strength. He works with his strength. He does not just keep offside anyhow. He makes sure that whenever he's keeping the offside, he's very close to the man, and then in a way that if the man gets the ball, if referee did not sound the whistle, he will cover up. Him and Ajayi, they did an amazing job in that defense that we did not even feel so much that Calvin Bassey was not in the game. Yeah. Then Osai Samuel was so good as well too. Bruno Nyemechin was fantastic. In the middle of the park, I love what the coach did, starting Onyedika once again in order for him to prove his doubters wrong again. Starting Samuel Chukwueze as well from the right side too was a very good one and thoughtful of the coach as well, because when you do that, you are giving the boys confidence to prove themselves again. When you do that, you are giving the boys morale so that they can, because quite all right that in your camp that these guys are good players, and football sometimes can make you to become foolish sometimes. So, but when you give them more chance, it will enable them to ease the pressure and to kill. So, reach that match, help Onyedika to recover a bit from the Moroccan game. Also help Chukwueze to recover a bit from the penalty miss and the backlash from Super Eagles, because Chukwueze had a wonderful game in that game, coming to the midfield to collect the ball, to create chances. I feel like Chukwueze has improved, especially going to Fulham these days now. It has really improved. I don't know the type of training the coach is giving or the type of instruction, but Chukwueze is turning gradually to get himself back, just like the way he used to play in Villarreal. But the difference now is that now he's playing more like a playmaker, like the modern days winger these days now, because modern days winger, they don't stay on the line to receive the ball. They come into the midfield. If they're not seeing the ball, they come here to dazzle the ball. They leave the wings for you that is the marker. They leave space for the right wing back or the left wing back to make runs behind them and then bring in square play. While they dash in, they just rove around the midfield and attack. That is how you see a flexible winger. So then, but Moses Simon, for me, I don't know, maybe it's loss of form or age-wise. He has not been on top of his game in this AFCON. Moses Simon have been poor somehow, and they have been leaving Moses Simon too long on the field of play. I felt like most times, if this guy is not playing well, even there are some subs that this guy used to come in some game that I feel like he's not the right, or he was not the right person to come in at that moment. So I don't know, maybe it's too much respect, or they are trying to increase his international caps. I don't know, but Moses Simon, all the take-ons, all the dribbles, all the one-on-one, Moses Simon was not able to win any of them. No pace again, no dribbling skill again, nothing. So Moses Simon, for me, after this AFCON, if he does not revive it, we find it difficult to come out to the national team. Then Paul Onuachu up front, I've been agitating for him to come in. Always good performance from the Turkish league, but I feel like the team does not play with the strength of Onuachu, because everybody have their strength and their power. Onuachu might not be able to run and fight like Victor Osimhen, but definitely Onuachu can hold on to play. If you play the ball to his feet, he's that kind of striker that can hold on to the ball, share two defenders, guide control, play wide, run into the 18-yard box. You bring in square play for him. So, but if you don't play to his strength, he's going to be useless, which he was a bit useless in that Egypt game up front there. So I definitely feels like maybe after this AFCON, he might find it so difficult to get a call-up back to the national team, provided if for other attackers like this guy in Wolverhampton, Tolu, and others, if they are doing well, I feel like Onuachu will struggle, because he has been given so much time in the national team and he has not really proven his worth so well. Maybe the team does not play to his strength, or is lacking sharpness, because there are some players who perform well at the club side, but coming to the national team, they don't do well. It's not their fault. So then coming to Chukwueze, done well. Onuachu, I've talked about Onuachu then. Dele Bashiru, I think Dele Bashiru started the game.
I think
he started the game. Dele Bashiru played very well. Dele Bashiru and Onyedika, they understand themselves so well, in that middle. So Dele Bashiru is one player that you cannot do away in that national team. He can play from the right side, can play for the left side, he can play as a central midfield, he can play as an attacking midfielder. Very, very good, very, very versatile. It was just unfortunate that he have to miss his penalty, which is part of the game. So apart from that, the sub too, Lukman came on. He did not really have much of the ball, but he's a dangerous player. Iwobi came on to stabilize the midfield, to make use of the ball, the confidence inside the field of play. Nwabali too did well, but his inability to grab ball once and to deal with square play is still my biggest concern for Nwabali. Aside from that, his positioning in terms of attacking Nigeria was very, very good. When they want to play free kick, I love his anticipation. I love how he position in the post, how he make himself so wide in the goal post. So that was why he was not able to concede goal easily. So one thing that Super Eagles need to be happy, Akko Adams too did well too, so far, even though he was slow.
He missed a chance there.
Yes, he missed chance too, he missed a chance, but one of the revelations that Super Eagles need to take out of this tournament is that Super Eagles have really done well to the extent that a lot of players, their market value will go high. When you come to a tournament like this and you perform so well, you have given yourself another big opportunity. So far, so good now. Even though Super Eagles did not win the cup in this tournament, but Super Eagles have won a lot of things that, after this tournament, so many players, the likes of them, the discovery of Dele Bashiru, Rafael Onyedika, Osai Samuel to replace, to compete with Ola Aina, Bruno Nyemeti to compete with Zaidu Sanusi, Igor Obu to be a sub if Kevin Bassio Ajayi is injured. Then, what is it called? Akko Adams too, going back to Sevilla. A lot of positive things to take out from this tournament so far. I think we should look at the positive side of it. So after this tournament, it's a very big testimony for the national team going forward. If we can gather this talent together, add one or two other players from European side to join this team, and then with more technical balance, I feel that Super Eagles is going to get it right.
Albert, well executed penalties from the Nigerian player, from the Super Eagles players, except from the one from Dele Bashiru, which to me, it wasn't a bad penalty. It's only that the keeper was right, What else do you think you can talk about the Super Eagles game with Egypt?
Yes, it's a nice one. The penalty shootout, yes, Fisayode Basiu lost the first penalty, which is normal. In a penalty shootout, there must be a player on either of the team to lose, which is normal. Are you getting it? But at the end of the day, Super Eagles went ahead to win the penalty, but you want to ask a question. The second half substitution, Iwobi came in, Ademola Lookman came in. Now, these two players stepped to the penalty spot, executed their penalty classically. Now, you now ask a question, why weren't the people that played the penalty against Morocco? Always a subject of debate. So, but the point is that I did say something, and I'll keep saying it. When you win in the game of football or any sport, you gain. But when you lose, you learn. You see, when you learn, there is always a proximity of achieving more. Proximity, the closeness of achieving more. When you are quick at learning from your mistake, you are close to achieving more things in every field of professionalism or whatever thing you do. Once you admit your mistakes and you agree to adjust and to grow in it, the proximity between you and your success line is very, very close. So now, the penalty has come. We played the penalty very well against Egypt. Now, it now speaks a lot of volumes. In further tournaments, when we have big boys in the team that have status already in the national team and they are on the pitch on a penalty, maybe the game ended 0-0, 2-2, whichever case, and penalty need to judge who wins the day, the big boys should step in
and
play the penalties, because in terms of confidence, in terms of experience and all of that, they should step up to the podium and execute the penalty. The way they executed the penalty, it shows that they could even do it better. Because if somebody like maybe Lookman step up against Morocco and converted the first one, it would have given confidence. As the Moroccans lost, another person came, Iwo became executed second one. The more the confidence and the morale, even the person that is not even a good penalty specialist, if he step in, you want to step in with the confidence that other of his teammates have been scoring. So it's a nice one. Thank God and thank football that we came out successfully.
But Chukwueze in that aspect is a big player too.
No, I'm not disputing who is not a big player, who is a big player, but you may have 23 players in a team. Now, maybe the first 11 that are on the pitch, see, in some games, I've seen so many games, Josusi, Chulavite, Rodrigo, Seni. These goalkeepers are people that pick up the first penalty to play. Some of them play last. That last or first are always a decider. And Yama visit our own beloved visit Yama. He doesn't mind playing first. And if you look at the people that want to play the first 4 penalties, he's confident with them. He want to come last to be the person that will actually strike the final one. So some goalkeepers are confident. They know how to play this penalty kick. So with no disregard to anybody, but there are some certain players that are big boys, that the cloud of the pitch cannot overwhelm them. Are you getting it? So they should step up to convert. I'm not saying Chukwueze is not a big boy. He's a big boy. And you understand? So, but the thing is that those that we feel should step up, because in the first place, if you want to ask people if Chukwueze was supposed to take the penalty, people will argue that Chukwueze is not supposed to play the penalty now. Looking at the fact that he's a dazzler, most times we see dazzlers as people that don't know how to convert sport kicks, penalty kicks. Are you getting it? So, but be as it may, we've learned from this mistake, subject to growth as other games comes in.
Chuba, do you have any other things to say before Albert goes to the board to conclude the analysis?
Nothing much. I've said the positive side of it, but the little negative side of it are just the Eritrea just need to check his subs when games are on. Inability to the ability to read players that are not really giving their best at that moment or that are not contributing much, irrespective of who you are, whether you are the star of that team. I said something before that you might have a player like Osimhen, even in clubs, I might be playing, and then maybe in that particular game, he's not really doing well, and the defenders are marking him so hard. He can get to 70 minutes, 75, 80 minutes. If you have a player on the bench that you feel like new players, you can decide to throw the player on, to go and perform, just to give him a try. That is why you see players having their first cap in a games like this final. You can see the likes of the game of Senegal and this team. They threw Mbaye in the second half to go and play, and the boy just played only 1 match in the group stage or thereabout, but he went in and changed a whole lot of. So if you are scared of playing the player that you brought from the for the tournament, and you are scared of removing your star player, what if you get injured against Egypt now? Osimhen did not play, you understand? So these big players sometimes they don't have days. Sometimes they can be off day. Sometimes, so it's not their fault, and sometimes they even want to come outside to come and relax, but you want to make it look at that day they must fall. This is body. This our body sometimes don't react positively every day by day. So you need to learn that. You need to know when to make subs, and then the player to remove sometimes, and then you should look at his bench. Sometimes you should just, as a coach, you just need to, I just want to see Eritrea doing something different. I want to see our Eritrea in a game. If we are losing or we need a goal, I want to see Eritrea tell Kevin Bassey, okay, now we are attacking too much from that left side. You, because of your power, go to the left wing side, then bulldoze the ball up from bringing square play for Osimhen. I want to see a coach like Eritrea telling players in 10 minutes to end my Ajayi, you have height at the defense line, leave that defense line, bring another player, or tell Bruno, cover the left, Ajayi go to the front, then join Osimhen. But I just want something different tactically. Okay. I just want Eritrea to be rugged in terms of tactics, in terms of changing it, and not just be calm when things are not going our way. We just relax. So that is one of the aspects that Eritrea needs to work on. Then our players, their runs off the ball is so poor most times. When the player is holding on to the ball, most times they tend to, the nearest man tend to receive the ball. Players far from the player, sometimes they feel relaxed so well because they believe that he might not see me or he might not pass the ball. So, and that has been really, that sometimes affect our pass and affect our play. That is why when a midfielder is holding ball, sometimes you see our right wing back, our left wing back, or some players sometimes they just stay where they are instead of them making runs in the blind space, so that the midfielder, even if you don't have option, if you look up, you'll be able to play attacking passes. But they always wait to believe that maybe he will not play the ball, or no need of going. Maybe it's fatigue, maybe it's laziness, or maybe it's part of coaching plan. But these are the areas I would like Eritrea to work on if he continues to become the Super Eagles coach, because we are going to be facing tougher opponents, and other opponent coaches to be reading our games to just like the way Moroccans read our game before that man. So him also need to improve. And I would like the Super Eagles, if Eritrea will continue to be the coach, they should send Eritrea to improve one or two things, maybe in Europe or some. They can pay for it. It's part of improvement for the national team. Any experience he gains, he will still add it to the national team before he leaves. If he stay 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, who will gain it first? So it's something positive for the Nigerian national team.
Anyway, Albert, you will go to the board now to give us more analysis on what transpired in that game and how Nigeria eventually won the third place. The board is yours.
Yes, exclusively the match between the Super Eagles of Nigeria and the
Pharaohs of Egypt.
And the Pharaohs. The Pharaohs of Egypt. I love that the Egyptian fans, they like dressing their famous Pharaoh kind of a dress and all of that. But there is not much to talk about in this game because of how the game panned out and all of that. But having said that, we should understand that this was a game between two giants in African football. Egypt here haven't won the AFCON for record 7 times, 1957, 59, 1986, 1998, 2006, 8, and 10. And the Super Eagles of Nigeria haven't won it in 1980,
94,
1994, and 2013. Now, the entire players of the team, no one was in the both side when they won. The only person that have been a partaker of that trophy is Assam Usam, the legendary coach of the Egyptian national side. But let's go straight into the game. Eric Church played the 4-4-2 formation, and Assam Usam came with the 4-2-3-1 formation. And in the Super Eagles side, there was a very big ring in the team, in the changes of the players, the personnel that was fielded. Apart from our defense stalwart, Calvin Bassey, who was having a suspension due to card. I think we have 5 other players that were not on the pitch. The Raphael Onyeka, Alex Iwobi, Victor Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, and all of them. But as a matter of fact,
Frank Onyeka.
Frank Onyeka was not there. So apart from Calvin Bassey, 5 other first-team players in the Nations Cup were not there. But let me just take like 1 minute each or 2 minutes each to give a player performance. From Stanley Nwabali here, I think from the first game we started playing, there were so many blames heaped on him. But as soon as we got into the knockout, I think from second round and quarterfinal, he upped his game, his conversation with his defense line and everything. And he have actually shown his Goliathan height on the post, catching, saving about how many penalties? About 2, put together about 4 penalties. Yes, against Morocco, 3 penalties against Morocco and 2 against Egypt. So in the knockout stages of the AFCON, Nwabali actually showed, yes, his class, why Super Eagles coaches have been trusting on him to man the post any day, anytime. Then the right fullback, Semi Ajayi, Osai Samuel, he does what he's normally used to do, possessing a ball, running through the line, showing the glimpse of hope and a future of Nigerian right fullback. Because why I call it a future, when I see young guys in the national team performing incredibly well, anyone that is playing right fullback today or projecting to play right fullback, maybe a 17 or 18 years old guy wanting to play in Super Eagles, should look at what Olaino is playing, because Olaino is our first team player, right? Yes, now, because of injury, Brett Osai Samuel was given the opportunity. Now, in the opportunity he has been given, he has not, you understand, underperformed. He has performed incredibly well. So any day, anytime, any coach will want to use either of the players, depending on the kind of formation he wants to play. So Osai Samuel, big glimmer of hope. It's a beacon of light in the Super Eagles team. Lovely right fullback, any day, anytime. Then on the left fullback, Bruno Yemicha, I used to say it's a delight to watch. Why I always call it a delight to watch? People don't really understand. When you play as a left fullback, I'm not even talking about old-time football, because if you're talking about old-time football in the 90s, people like Benny Roa, people like Mazinho, a lot of people, African football, even people like Pierre Women of Cameroon, I grew up watching these people. Their left fullback, they may be powerful at the defensive line of the left fullback, but you see, they too are venomous when they call the center line. They come in, even let them be Taiwo. Left fullback too, but apart from being defensive conscious, he joined the attack because for the past 20 years or thereabout, left fullback, people call it as modern day fullback. It's not actually a modern day. Something that is more than 20 years. It's not actually modern day. Taiwo played 2005 under 20 youth championship. So between the time Taiwo played the Super Eagles, it's more than 20 years now. So Taiwo is a left fullback that joins the attack, give depth and give more opportunities for the attackers to run in and give in the ball in. So Bruno Yemichi, as I credit him much for the way he defends, the way he recovers, you understand, when we attack and when we lose the ball, the way he recovers and the way he has been giving options on the attacking force. Now, on this part, Semi Ajayi, calm, cool and collected anytime. Where we were watching the game at the Goldberg Arena, some persons were saying he's not supposed to be playing the championship. You understand? It's not every defender that will be powerful or having muscle. Some use their brains, their sense. You understand? The Uche Kechuku of this world and all of that. They use their sense, their instinct to control the defense line. And I think that is what he has been doing. Now, it was not with his pairing duo since the tournament, which was in the person of Bassi, but he could communicate well with Igor Ogu, who came into the fore. Are you getting it? So that's the Igor Ogu that came. We never saw any mistake between the both of them. They communicated well. One will mark, one will remain, one will mark, one will remain. And they were getting the loose ball as at the word time due. So that's what I said. If you check very well the final between Morocco and the Senegal, Koulibaly was under the red card. Keprin Diatta was having 2 yellow cards. The both of them were suspended. But when they brought in these 2 other players, right, the Gueye and the other guy, they complemented well. So the Senegalese team did not miss Koulibaly and Keprin Diatta. Now that is why Calvin Bassey is a mainstay, no doubt. But we didn't see any glitch from this man. So for the fact that we didn't see any glitch from this man, nobody was saying, Bassey did not play. We're missing Bassey and all of that. That's one thing about. So for a player to be on the substitute bench, do not make you a player that is underestimated. Just that all players invited cannot be in the team at the same time. 10 players plus goalkeeper 11 will start, while others, even the people that are on the bench, are even much more than the people on the pitch. Are you getting it? So Igor Ogu came in, was a good, lovely compliment to Seni Ajayi, and they actually marshaled the defense line very well. Now look at the midfield. It was the first time Super Eagles was playing this in the tournament, where we have Samuel Chukwueze right here. We have Fisayo Dele-Bashiru, Raphael Onyedika, and your beloved, your guy, you love him so much, Moses Simon, captain of the side. Now there's something, apart from Moses Simon that was only running the line, Moses Simon was actually running the line. There was something very important to noteworthy of these 3 players. Onyedika, Samuel Chukwueze, and Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. Fisayo Dele-Bashiru is very combative, very strong. Fisayo Dele-Bashiru can play on either side of the midfield. Yeah. Do you realize that when Osai Samuel had an injury and he was substituted, Fisayo Dele-Bashiru
went back?
Dropped back to assume defensive duty, just like Dominic Sobosa. He's been, you understand, improvised to play right fullback in the Liverpool side. So Fisayo Dele-Bashiru have shown that with the qualities I have, with the potential I have, I can always be improvised to play several positions in the midfield play and all of that. Now, if you look very well in the game, Samuel Chukwueze, I think if Eric Chell still remains, because we've heard from several quarters that Eric Chell is having an offer from Tunisia. That he might leave. $100,000, right? Everybody needs money. He may definitely leave. Now, Samuel Chukwueze, I think Eric Chell has actually converted into somebody, a deep midfield player. He wants to use his left foot, because a lot of coaches, you see a lot of coaches like left-footed players, because left-footed players are very, very cunning and very creative. Yes, crafty and cunning. You understand? So Chukwueze actually dropped into the midfield more, and he was interchanging with Fisayo Dele-Bashiru and Raphael Onyedika. So most times when the interchanging coming on this triangular form, you notice that Onyedika is the one that's always dropping back to collect the loose ball. Though Onyedika can make about 2 passes, 40 passes. He's a human. And as a midfielder, I keep to say it all the time, a midfielder has more pressure. When they are attacking you, you're on pressure. When you are attacking, you try to create, you try to give the right man at the right time. Are you getting it? So that is where Onyedika actually make 1 or 2 40 passes, but he actually created a very lovely balance on the midfield. He tried to create a balance, you understand? So when the ball is trying to go, the ball drops on his hand, he starts to initiate the attack and all of that. So there was a balance in the midfield here. But right here on the attack, you have Ako and Paul Onuachu. Now, there's something that really happened on that game. You see, trust me, Nigeria actually, we check the statistics, Nigeria played much more better than the Egyptian side.
Yeah, that one is true.
Nigeria had up to like 10 breaks from the midfield, in which we'll break on this midfield fault. We'll find ourselves on the periphery of the 18 right here, but we're not producing that
clinical.
passes that should be. But the thing is this: the Super Eagles player, if a Richard stay, because there's something, I'm a strong advocate of a coach staying for a period of time in a team. Because when you stay in a period of time in a team, right, you'll be able to mold the team to a particular level that all the players, even the one on the bench, will actually understand themselves very well. So if a Richard leave, if the NFF want to get a new coach, let them check very well and get a coach that they feel can take Super Eagles to the promised land. Don't get a coach. Don't hire a coach today. Maybe after losing too much, you will say let him go. Because the more you change this coach over and over, every coach has their own philosophy and all of that. If he brings in some players, he will lay off those players and bring in another set of players, which is not good for the growth of any team. So now what happened here is this. Paul Onuachu, Akko Adams has actually proved the midfield from the first day of this game. Yes, he's in top shape and all of that. Now, there's a problem here on Paul Onuachu. Over time, in the World Cup qualifiers, we've been agitating here on this table that Paul Onuachu is one of the highest scoring Nigerian abroad after Victor Osimhen, isn't it?
No, he has scored more than Victor Osimhen.
Okay, now, right, he has scored more than Osimhen. But look at it. If you have been inviting Tolu Arokodare, you've been inviting several players. The former coach before was inviting Victor Boniface and all of that. No disrespect to them, they are good players. But trust me, it's not every players that can actually be suitable for the Super Eagles jersey. It is factual. In 1994, when we were kids, we were growing up watching the Super Eagles. People like Mike Obiku, Owubokiri, Richard Owubokiri, Wiki. Yes, a lot of them, they couldn't fit into that team. Efan Ikoku, they couldn't fit into that team. But Rashidi Yekini, as soon as he's stepping into the pitch, one pass, he will destroy defenders and put the ball behind the net. There are some people that actually can fit into Super Eagles kind of play per time. Cyril Dessers came in, he became a shadow of himself in the team. Not because he doesn't know how to play football, no, but because the Super Eagles kind of play did not fit into the pattern, especially when Super Eagles is up against an African team where you have to put in this kati kind of play and all of that. Now, Paul Onuachu, before this Nations Cup, he has been fizzled out of the Super Eagles team for a long period of time. You've not invited him. Now, at the wake of the Nations Cup, your provisional list, you now involve Paul Onuachu. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You never invited him for your whatsoever, your World Cup qualifiers and all that. You invited other players. But when it was time for the Nations Cup proper, you brought in Paul Onuachu. It's not a bad one. But the thing is that Paul Onuachu was unable to click with the team that day, was unable to quick click. Not because he's a bad player, but because he has not actually get the rhythm. Because the crop of players he's playing with is not the crop of players he is used to. Are you getting it? So Akko did not have much balls because of our lining in the midfield. Are you getting it? And all of that. So a lot of the breaks we did in the center fourth of this place, there were so many breaks that if we actually have somebody like Iwobi, let's put it that way, Iwobi, because Iwobi has one of the person that have given us masterclass passes and all of that since the AFCON started. And even somebody like Iwobi was here on Lukumon, perhaps behind them, he would have bring in nice protruding pass that would have resulted into goal bet. I wonder if we had about 10 breaks from the midfield that the Egyptians, about 5 of them were behind Super Eagles player, and maybe like 4-5 Super Eagles player is ahead of them, pushing towards their defense line. We couldn't create any chance throughout the entire 90 minutes before it went to penalty. But the thing is that if you win, you gain. But when you lose, you learn. So at this point now, I think if Erichel, hopefully, I'm optimistic, if he's still there, he's going to build much more. Let them start organizing friendly matches, high-class, high-profile friendly matches, not to play against Jamaica or go and play against some countries. Are you better what I'm trying to say? Uganda. Let them organize
Uganda.
Uganda. Their countries, they play football, but what I mean high-profile matches, let them spend money. Let them play high-profile matches against teams like England, even Brazil. What does it cost to give these guys some certain kind of exposure and synergy play within themselves? Because if you have a team like Super Eagles here and you're only dependent on first-team players, on a very high-profile match, on a big match where 2 players maybe have yellow card or red card or injuries, those players are on the bench. They are not used to playing high-profile matches with their Super Eagles teammates. They will start having issues when they step into the team, into the pitch. Are you getting it? So there was no flow on this attack. There was no balls here. That's why Akko Adams and Paul Onuachu did not really spark the defense line of the Egyptian side. So far so good. Nigeria won, but one key word to take home is this. When we made the substitution, I want to pick out just 2 substitutions. They brought in Chair brought in
Ademola
Lookman, brought in Wilfred. We bring in
brought in
Alex Iwobi. Now Alex Iwobi was now at an instance as he came into the pitch, he was trying to create an instant impact, dropping deep to collect balls so that he can make some passes and all of that, but it didn't actually materialize till it ended. But when it ended, penalty shootout. These same players that were on the pitch on the game we played against Morocco, that we are stepping backward, they didn't play that penalty, right? They were the one that came to convert the penalty in a very classy way. Are you getting it? Apart from Fisayo Dele Bashiru that lost which is football. Are you getting it? Lukumon was the one that played the last one that actually gave us the bronze medal. He converted his classically. Iwobi came classically. Iwobi was playing it without even any stress. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Because he knows how to play.
It's another take home. On a good day, we find ourselves in matches where it ends penalty. Everybody on the Super Eagles team, they are all professionals. But there are players on the team that are high profile. We like it, go to England, go to Spain, go to anywhere. There are players on the team that are high profile than some. But all of them are professional. Does not mean even people on the bench do not have what it takes. But it takes sometimes player with a high profile, high status in the team to convert penalty first, to give other people the morale. I get what I'm trying to say. So in some teams, you see, a team like Portugal, so either Ronaldo plays first or he plays last. And then what I'm trying to say, Messi in Nigeria is either he plays first or he plays last. So what I'm trying to say here is that we should build on our penalty. We should build on our penalties. How we play penalties. We should build on free kicks. I bet in our dead balls, and we should still build on our defense line because so many balls that come into our defense line always beat our defense line. So but it's a good one. We've won the bronze medal for a record 9 times. So we hope that our next Nations Cup, we're going to win the gold medal.
That was a good analysis from our part. The Super Eagles has won the 3rd place. I would say congratulations to them. Congratulations to Eric Chell. Congratulations to Nigerians.